Hello, everybody. My name is Byron Liu. I'm the director of the Trent School of Business. I'm here to show you some information about our school, provide you with some details, and then take questions in the last little bit. So be prepared, write down your questions, and we'll have plenty of time for those. So let's go and take a look at at my slideshow. So welcome to the School of Business. Uh, the School of Business is the largest unit at Trent University. Trent University, as you may have heard, ranks number one in terms of undergraduate education in Ontario, and we've been ranked that highly for 13 years. Our school and our university are known for its leadership in teaching, research. Student satisfaction ranks very high, and I can't stress that enough. We hear from our graduates of the excellent time they've had while at Trent. Within the School of Business, our faculty interacts with students, and we have excellent business community relationships. And I'll tell you a lot about what that means as we go through our presentation. So why would you take business at Trent? Well, one thing we offer for you are a variety of unique programs and covers the whole range of business studies, the functional areas of business. We can also offer you smaller upper year classes, seminar style classes, where you can discuss the issues in detail with your instructor. And you'll be working in groups with your peers, and you can interact well with them and other peers. In addition, and importantly, we also make available to you work experience, experiential learning, we call it. I will have more to say about our co-ops, internships, and placements as we go through our talk. So first, what do you need to get into the School of Business? It's essentially what you need to get into Trent University, and I'm sure that's been covered with you already, but I'll briefly summarize. You need for the university an English, and you need an average of 70%. For the school, we ask that you have one of the 4 UMaths. So if you're from Ontario, that makes sense. If you're not, we can translate for you. But effectively, it means if you've taken in your senior year in high school a math course, that's what we require of you. It doesn't have to be calculus. It's nice if it is, but it absolutely does not have to be calculus. So our admissions criteria for the School of Business are not particularly onerous. We sort of flip the requirements in that we ask that you maintain a GPA to graduate the program, and the GPA needed to get our BBA is 65. We have a variety of degrees through which you can take business at Trent. So the first one is likely the one you are thinking of, the Honors Bachelor of Business Administration, BBA we call it. It's similar to a BCom, you may have heard of that. This is our version. You can do a BBA with or without specialization, and I'll have a little more to say on specializations in a moment, so hold on to that. Alternatively, you could take our co-op program. Our co-op program requires that you apply specifically for the BBA co-op. We have two co-ops. We have the business co-op and we have an accounting co-op as well. They are separate in that accounting co-op has a slightly different sequence, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but otherwise they're effectively the same. You would only pick accounting, obviously, if that is your area of interest. The business co-op covers all other specializations. You might be interested in 2 degrees. Perhaps you're interested in media studies. In that case, you might be interested in a joint major. A joint major is effectively 2 degrees taken in parallel. We can map that out for you, and about 20% of our students take the joint major. Some students choose to do a business administration minor. That's fine. It means you take fewer courses, but you're concentrated in an area of your interest. We also offer 2 special degrees. We offer a dual degree in business administration and law. That degree, you spent your first 2 years with us here in Peterborough or Durham, Trent University. Then you do 3 years of law school, and then you return to us for your final year. As long as you maintain the required GPA while in the program, your admission to the law school is guaranteed. You don't need to apply for the law school. That's part of the application process to Trent. And our last and our newest program is an accounting and economics degree. It's basically a joint degree between economics and accounting, but it has a lot more accounting than you would typically be able to take in a joint major. We just introduced it this year. We have our first cohort this fall. So I mentioned that in doing a BBA, you have the ability to specialize. So here you'll see listed our 11 specializations. Not all of them are available on each campus. Most are available in Peterborough. A good majority are available in Durham, and we have a specialized program that's only available in Durham. So I won't discuss these in too much detail. In a minute, I'll mention our most popular, but you'll notice the logistics and supply chain management specialization. That is our Durham only. That's a relatively new specialization. I think it's in its third year. Of those specializations, these are the most popular among students, let's say. So accounting is our most popular. We can't get enough accounting students to meet the demand of our local and regional and also Toronto accounting firms. So there is demand for accounting students. Our other most popular, marketing. That one is extremely popular again on both campuses. HR, human resources. If you take the human resources pathway and fulfill all the requirements, you will be eligible to write the knowledge exam and become certified as a human resource professional. In addition, we've introduced finance a few years ago. That's our fastest growing specialization. And entrepreneurship is one that's not quite as large as the others, but it definitely has a core group of students who are very devoted and are extremely interesting. Those students who specialize in entrepreneurship are definitely a unique group. I've attended some of their classes. They're a real interesting group to engage with. So you don't have to do a specialization. Some students, almost half, choose not to. And effectively, they're taking courses from all our specializations. But some choose to do a specialization, and we can give you lots of information on how that works. So let's say you come to Trent. What does it look like in your first year? Well, here's a sample schedule you might have. We have a series of required courses, of which you would, in your first year, take 3 in your first term, our introductory admin course, 1000, financial accounting, and introductory microeconomics. Then you take some elective courses, could be anything you like, including at Trent, we have a requirement that you take an Indigenous studies course. That may be one of your options. In the winter term, you might take 2 courses, another economics course, and then either our econ math course or our quantitative analysis for business course. And then you have 3 options. So in your first year, only half of your courses are specified. In our first year classes, some of them are large, but what we do is we break down our first year classes into seminar groups. So let's say you're in a lecture with 200 students. You will then find yourself in a seminar group with perhaps probably 25 students led by a seminar leader. And in that seminar group, you'll discuss the issues that were raised during the lecture. So despite having a very large class in your first year, you will end up in a small classroom setting, even in your first year. Once you get through first year, there's a series of courses you need to take to fulfill the requirements. These are your second year courses. What you should notice here is you're getting a lot of the functional areas of business. You're getting marketing, organizational behavior, human resource management, more accounting, a little statistics. So these are courses that you need. And then in addition to that, you have electives. We have fewer courses required in third and fourth year. By third and fourth year, you may or may not have chosen to specialize, in which case the bulk of the courses you take will be those drawn from your chosen specialization. Now, I mentioned we have experiential learning opportunities. We have 3 forms. Co-ops, I'm sure you're familiar with, or at least somewhat familiar with. Co-ops are a entry program. You need to enter it in first year, whereby during your period with us at Trent, you will spend terms in class and terms out working. You have 3 work terms over that period. Now, those work terms, by the way, are paid, and you're paid at the rate that you and the employer negotiate. Some firms pay minimum wage, most pay more. So again, that you need to apply for. It's a direct entry program. We have internships. Internships are a little different. They are co-ops, but you don't need to apply to get into them. They are equivalent to taking the course, whereby you are taking that course for 4, 6, 8 months, sometimes longer, up to 16 months, where you're working for a firm. So effectively, you're in class for your years. Then by upper year, you decide to apply to do an internship. Boom, you're out working for half to a full year. You've done your internship, you come back and you finish your degree. So it's very much like a co-op, only it's less structured in that you don't need to apply to get into it initially, and you can choose the period when you run your internship. Now, these are reserved for third and fourth year students, typically fourth year students, but we have some third year students doing them. The other form we have, we call them placements. There you're spending it's as if you're spending one of your classes outside of Trent working in a firm. So you have 4 other courses, you go to class, your 5th course, you go work in a business. Most of the time placements are not paid. Occasionally they are, but they count as a course credit. So it's as if you're taking a course. And of course, it's work experience. One of the things I hear our graduates say when they go to apply for jobs is my employers says they're looking for experience, but I just graduated. Where do I get that experience? Well, placements are an excellent way to obtain that experience so that when you graduate, you can show an employer that you have worked in a firm. Many of our students who do placements end up getting jobs from the firms in which they were placed. So here's a quick summary of the differences among those 3 forms of experiential learning. The key for co-ops is you have to apply if you want to do it. There is an option to transfer in first year, and we circulate information on that. But if you're interested, you should be applying for that directly. And I note that the registration people tell me that if you apply for a co-op and you don't get in, we will automatically give you an entry position into our regular business, provided you meet the requirements. The other key is you need to take the internship or placements. You need to maintain a GPA. For internships, 75%. For placements, 72%. We offer several degrees in which you can apply to do co-ops, and you may see that when you come to apply to business. We have the business co-op. So that's everything in business except accounting. And the reason, and I'll show you in a second why accounting differs, is the pathway. You can apply to do a business accounting co-op. Now, you can also do a co-op, through economics or through our new program, Accounting and Economics. You don't need to worry about those 2 C and D if you are interested in the School of Business. So I said, what's the difference between the business and the accounting? Well, it's essentially this mapping. So here you can see how your experience at Trent is broken down into study and work terms. So you'll note in year 1, your first summer, you don't have any work. You're free to go. However, from then on, you're busy every year, including summer. You'll notice year 2, your first summer is a work term. Then in year 3, you'll notice winter term, followed by summer term or work terms. And then in year 4, you'll note you end up spending your last summer in class, then you graduate. If you're doing accounting, the work terms get delayed slightly. So you'll note here, if you're doing accounting, the only real difference between this slide and the last is that your first work term is delayed until winter of year 3. Why is it delayed? The answer is because accounting firms want their students to have a sufficient grounding in the work that they want. And you'll note that the year 3 work term is winter. That's no accident. Accounting firms' busiest time is tax season. So they want our students to come in January. They get them prepared to start helping them with tax prep. And they want our students to have covered some of the courses needed to do tax prep. Otherwise, they're the same, and students graduate at the same time as well. If you're doing an internship, you may end up working through part of your studies. This is the mapping of the most popular choice. In other words, most students who do an internship do it in their 4th year. You don't have to do it in your 4th year. You could try in your 3rd. This is just what is typical, and that's not because we told students what to do. That's because that's what students choose. But there are options. Who could we place you with? Well, we have dozens of potential partners. Here we show you kind of a cross section of partners with which we've placed our students. We've placed a student anywhere from downtown Toronto at the Royal Bank of Canada. We have KPMG. We have large companies like PepsiCo and Fastenal. We have modest-sized companies like Owasco or Govro. We have not-for-profit like the Canadian Mental Health Association, for-profit we run the gamut. And we're always looking for new partners to take our students. We've had these types of students get jobs doing a variety of things. These are the positions that students have been able to get after working in their experiential learning opportunity. So all are excellent opportunities. And again, reminding you, you can do this as a co-op, or if you don't apply for a co-op, you can still do it in your third or fourth year as an internship. So I'm going to stop my share now and invite questions, and I'll take help from my host here. I think did I see any questions?
Yeah, there's a few questions. Just
Good.
gonna pull some of them up. Um, okay, here I can get off screen on screen here. So I had a question. I'm deciding between business programs. What should I pay attention to beyond just the course list?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, what we tell students is start your first year. You have choice to move around and switch your program. So start first year, and as I showed you on an earlier slide, the program mapping is pretty general. It's the same for almost all our first year students. But think about what you might be interested and start mapping your optional courses towards those interests. You may not have any clue what your interests are when you start, and that's fine because the first year course of Min 1000 takes you through all the different areas of business. And as you go through that, you may discover what kind of just gels with you, what sounds interesting, then you can start pursuing those optional courses as you go through. So I wouldn't worry too much about what you need to focus on in first year. As long as you're interested in business or economics or accounting, you're safe in any of our programs. And then as you choose by second year what you want, you can make a slide towards that. It's not too late in second year to do some major changes. And some of our students do that. Third year, it's a little harder, but we will take you through.
Yeah, and I was explaining to students that we have an exploration first year, so they could join for a general first year and then select somewhere in first year so that they can start their program officially in second year, which is really great because it doesn't set them back any amount of time if they're interested in changing programs. Um, Another question that came up earlier, I did answer it, but it's a good one to review. What opportunity does Trent offer for students to connect with real companies or work on real business projects?
Yeah, as I listed, so the experiential learnings are our primary means by which we engage you with firms. And as I outlined, you want to do a co-op, you apply for entry, but you can still do an internship or placement if you have not chosen to apply for a co-op. We do have other pathways as well. I didn't list all of them. We have something we call community-based research, where you engage, where local firms put a project proposal forward and students choose projects they want to work with and work with the local firm in realizing those goals, objectives, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's market research, something like that. We also bring in business leaders into class to talk with students. So there's even this casual kind of interaction. That's kind of up to the instructors. Many of our instructors have different connections in different industries. So we've brought in executives from Walmart, from PepsiCo. We brought local lawyers. So all of those opportunities give you ability to connect. And finally, we sometimes will bring in our alumni to interact with our current students. And so those are great networks because our alumni are very loyal and they're very keen to help our students. And in some cases, they're keen to employ our students. One of our accounting firms in Peterborough, Govro, they are primarily interested in Trent grads. They'll hire others, but if they have a good Trent student, they are really committed to employing them.
Oh, that's awesome. This question is sort of related, but a student wanted you to just review um, how do students stand out when applying for internships or co-op positions? So it's just, we do have a full session coming up tomorrow about co-op with CareerSpace, but for the purposes of the student asking, maybe it's a good idea to just to review what internships look like at Trent within the business program, and then also the co-op opportunities for students too.
Yeah, so the internships and co-ops are similar in that we have the same kind of set of hosts, firms, institutions that we'll try to place you with. So the way it works is we have staff. So you can meet with CareerSpace and also with the School of Business because we're so large. We have our own dedicated staff who are actually some of them are from CareerSpace. So it's kind of the same thing. What they do is they'll work with you to prepare you to search for a job, to identify the type of position that works for you. They'll help you prepare your resume so that, your resume can stand out, so that it's precise, so that there are no errors. They will help you with interview skills. My understanding is they do sample interviewing, they run workshops and sessions, so they present you with all those details, and they'll help you highlight your skills and the things that you can bring to the firm. Then you can take that and choose the firms that you're interested in, and we provide you with that database and we assist you. Of course, the last step is yours. You have to go in and do that interview and make that sale, as it were, and show your best self. But we prepare you as you till you get there.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, okay, so that actually looks like the end of the questions. There was a few questions about graduate studies, but I directed them to the graduate department. So that's it, Byron. If you had any other final comments, you could use this time to say it, and then if not, and we can wrap up the session and wait for the next one.
I didn't mention that we offer well, I did partly hint. It's on both our campuses. It's on our Peterborough campus that you see in the background behind David. It's at our Durham campus as well. And we are one of the very few programs at Trent that offer our full, complete program on both campuses. There are slight differences. Durham has its own unique aspects. We offer certain specialization there, but otherwise, if you want to know which campus do I take my program at, the answer is it's up to you. And in fact, you can take your courses on either campus. There's no restriction. We don't designate students by campus. Students choose the campus they want to take courses on. The advantage of the Durham campus, classes tend to be a little smaller. The advantage of Peterborough, though you have bigger classes, we tend to give you more flexibility because we can offer more sections because it's larger. The choice is yours. We know our students who go to each campus love the campus.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with our students today. It's a really, really good session. We recorded it, so we do it in case you missed it for all of the people that unfortunately might not have been able to attend. So thank you so much, Byron. It was a great session, and good luck with the rest of the day. Thanks for taking so much time in the early morning. Appreciate it. Okay, so that was essentially the formal end of our business session. I will stop a recording here.